uh, So
Okay, thanks. I finished. Okay, thanks.
Good morning, dear Danubians. Welcome to the webinar Questions and Answers. This is the 11th and the last webinar organized by the MAJS with the aim to give you an insightful information on the Danube Region Program and the first call for proposals. So let me explain you shortly how today's webinar will look like. We will have two parts. In the first part, we will be replying to the questions we received with your registrations. And in the second part, we will be replying to the questions we're receiving through Slido. Another important thing is that we received quite some questions, topic related. However, we won't be replying them today, but we kindly advise you to check our website to see which colleague is responsible for which specific objective. Now, in order to connect faces with the names, I would like to present my colleagues who will be taking part in today's presentation. First, Simona Ene, head of the JS. Good morning, Simo.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Then we have Katalin Kovač-Kasa. Good morning, Kata.
Good morning, everyone.
Then we have Horst Schindler. Good morning, Horst.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning, everyone.
Morning. Gustav Chomor. Good morning, Gustav.
Hello, good morning.
Then Stephen Halligan. Unfortunately, he has some technical problems to join us online. Most probably later on, he will say hello to everyone. Natalia Liholot. Good morning, Natalia.
Good morning.
Then we have our financial guys who will be also attending, responding to our financial questions. So, good morning, Mirjana Arsenic-Petrovic.
Good morning, everyone.
Hello. And we have Mihailo Cicmilovic, also our financial colleague. Good morning, Mihailo. So now we can start. Natalia will be responding to the questions regarding partnership and intervention logic. But first, I would like to draw your attention that we scheduled 2 hours for this webinar. And in order to be effective and efficient, please pay a lot of attention to the questions that we will be replied in the first part, so not to duplicate the questions on Slido. So thank you very much, good luck, and now Natalia will guide you through the woods of the questions. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Miri. Good morning, dear participants. And first of all, I would like to say just a second, figuring out how to switch on the slides, that the webinars which we are holding in today's webinars, question and answer session, does not give you their entire information about the program specific objectives. We are tackling only some questions which we received. And that is why I highly recommend you, so do please read program documents which are available on our website. Also check specific objectives and also check focus areas within those specific objectives you're interested in. So it will allow you to make your proposal to be more focused and to develop a good quality proposal. On the top of all, if you have topic related questions, we advise you to book a bilateral consultation with the respective project officer, where you will have an opportunity to ask questions and the officer will guide you on basic principles of that specific objective which you are interested in. Also, records of webinars are available on the project website. As Miri has already mentioned, we had rounds of webinars related to GEMS, intervention logic, and on each specific objectives, we also had webinars. So presentations are available, program documents are available, we are available like GS, and also national contact points is a very useful tool because you can on the slide you can see the link where you can find contacts to those respective institutions and people who are responsible for providing information about the Danube Region program in your country. You can contact them, and in your national language, they will be able to also provide you a consultation, maybe help you in finding partners, and etc., etc. Also, there will be national events, national info days. Some of them have already taken place and some of them are scheduled. So also check this information. Let's move on. We have received a bunch of general questions relating to the program itself, specific objectives. So on this slide, before going deep into questions, I would like to present you just this basic framework, general information on the first call for proposal within Danube Region program. The available fund for the first call for proposal is more than 91 million euros. Maximum project duration is 30 months. It will be two-step procedure. So first step will be it is open now, starting from the 29th of September, with the deadline on the 21st of November, 2 o'clock Central European Time. Submission of the expression of interest is required during the first step. It's like basic concept, like a short version of the application form with core information on the partnership and on the idea of your project proposal, some activities and general budget. Only electronic submission is required, meaning that no attachments are required, no signed declarations, partnership agreements at this stage is not required. The second step, meaning that those applications, expressions of interest, they will be assessed, and those which will be recommended for further provision of full application forms will be able to participate in the second step. They will be invited for the second step, which is planned conventionally. We cannot say exact dates now. So in spring 2023. And also conventionally, you can plan that the beginning of your project will be in the beginning of 2024. Again, these are conventional timeframe. Questions and answers today, which we compiled and received, we divided in several sections. So one section relates to partnership. We noticed that many questions were repeating, so to say, and some of them we just grouped together. Some of them we quoted like they were presented to us. So the first question for today is what kind of,
Oh.
sorry, Mimi, I took out.
So we are starting now. Please be ready to follow the questions. What kind of organizations can be partners?
According to the legal statutes, the following types of partners are eligible for funding within the DRP. These are local, regional, national public bodies, bodies governed by public law. These could be EGTCs, international organizations, private bodies, NGOs, private enterprises, and private profit-making organizations can be partners also, not lead partners, which is a very important thing to know. So if an organization is a profit-making, it can be a partner in the whole Danube region if it is registered there, even in non-EU countries in this program. Chambers of commerce, trade unions, private enterprises registered in the program area, as I have pointed out. If you're not sure whether your organization is eligible or not, you have hesitations regarding the legal statutes, you can contact your respective NCP. If it is a Bulgarian organization, contact your Bulgarian NCP, for example, and make sure whether your organization is eligible or not.
Second question, can partners from the entire territory of Ukraine participate?
Yes, this is a novelty in the Danube region program, and countries supported that the entire territory of Ukraine can participate in the program, provided that the part of the operations implemented outside program area directly contribute to the objectives of the program. Thus, the applicants from entire territory, there was a question about the organization from Chernivtsi, let's say, or from Kiev, from Chernihiv, whether these organizations can apply. So yes, but make sure that their results of activities and those activities which you implement within the project directly contribute to the program objectives.
Thank you. What is an optimal size of partnership? Can non-EU countries be lead applicants? What number of participants from one country?
So as I have already mentioned, we received a bunch of similar questions. So if it's not exactly that question which you wrote us, you can find an answer in these questions, in these answers, which will be provided now. So each project, there's a basic rule, has to involve at least 3 directly financing partners from 3 different countries of the program area. The lead partner and at least 2 project partners. At least 1 partner must be a beneficiary from an EU member state of the program. The number of partners may considerably vary between the projects. There is no golden rule, what is a good size of partnership. It can be, there is a minimum requirement 3, but frankly speaking, if we are talking about transnational project, in order to achieve a transnational impact and to achieve good results at transnational level, so theoretically, it would be good to involve partners from more countries of the Danube area. But there is no limit actually. The only requirement is for the partnership to be feasible and manageable, not to be artificially created, like many partners know that now the involvement of non-EU countries is highly recommended by the program, and there will be additional scores given. So do not create artificial partnership, involve relevant organizations. So you are developing a joint project with the joint partnership. And in the application form, there are cooperation criteria like joint implementation, joint development, joint implementation, joint staffing, and joint financing. So there you also will be able to explain about your partnership, staffing, etc. The quality of project depends largely on an integrated composition of its partnership. A good partnership should pool all competencies and capacities needed to address the project objectives. and to achieve the set outputs and results. And of course, a very important thing to note that non-EU countries can be also lead applicants. So even from Serbia, from Moldova, organizations can be lead applicants. However, the exception is Ukraine, because Ukrainian applicants can have a role of financial partners in the first call for proposal.
Thank you, Natalia. It was very thorough answer and very important info you provided. So let's go to the next one.
Oh, sorry, the continuation. Actually, we also received questions about partnership regarding how to form, what is the optimal size. Yes, and here we consider to be important for you to understand these basic principles. The project partnership should be set up in strategic manner and well adapted to its purposes. The competencies of partners should be closely linked to the project objectives, and all partners should be relevant for reaching the project outputs and results. So you should not involve partners just because partner just wanted to join the partnership. However, the organization is not relevant for achieving project objectives. The partnership should be balanced regarding the number of factors involved per country, distribution of project activities and responsibilities, as well as related budgets. Also, policy relevance should be taken into account. Those decision makers should be either directly included in the partnership or involved as ASPs. For example, they can be ministries, those who make decisions, or project partners should have the capacity or show in the application form how to create strong links to the relevant policy drivers. The partnership size shall reflect the transnational character. As I have mentioned, minimum requirement is 3, but you have to think over how the partnership will be able to reach the ultimate goal. Multi-level governance, and in order to apply integrated territorial approach, the partnership should not only consist of the administrative level, only local, like municipalities, let's say. The project should build on effective linkages across sectors also, transport, environment, for example, and governmental levels, so to have vertical cooperation.
Thank you, Natalia. Can an institution without any experience in internet projects apply as a lead partner?
Actually, yes, we also welcome new players to be involved in the program. And there is only like recommendation for the organization to have financial capacity, enough cash flow, enough human capacities to manage the project. Of course, it is highly recommended, or I don't know, appreciated if the organization has at least some experience in the management of EU-funded projects, but it is not excluding new organizations to join. The programs, big partners should also possess sound institutional capacity, technical human resources that I have already mentioned, awareness of the administrative burden which implies to the lead partner role, in-depth knowledge of the DRP rules, high level of commitment to both lead partner organization and project management team, intercultural sensitivity, and proactive management approach of the project management team.
Thank you. Let's move. And how to find partners?
Yes, it's a very popular question we always receive. So in order to build a strong partnership, the network of national contact points should be used. And they provide you guidance, practical information, assistance in all aspects of participation in the Danube region program, including help with finding project partners and sharing project ideas with organizations across the Danube region. So, for example, if you are a partner from Moldova and you want to find a partner in Germany, you have to contact German National Contact Point, and maybe they will help you in finding partners. Or maybe you can contact your contact point in your country, stating that you're looking for partners. Maybe some organization from other countries from the Danube region reach them, and they are also interested in cooperation with partners from respective country. In addition, LinkedIn group was created. On the slide you can, and on the website also, you can find a link. You can also join where this group share ideas, and maybe you can find partners there. You can also use KEEP database. This is like European database where organizations which participate in EU programs are included. So for now, these are available ways of finding partners.
Thank you. Must ASPs be located in the Danube area?
ASPs, associated strategic partners, can come outside the program area, but in the EU. And they can be from the non-EU countries of the program area. So, for example, but they should, when thinking of involving the associated strategic partner in your project, you have to make sure that they will bring added value, some expertise to your project, which is really, really needed. So, if you want to involve ASPs, as it's written in the slide, they should come outside of the program area from the EU, for example, Italy, Estonia, so it depends, it can vary. And if we talk about non-EU countries, so they should be from the program area.
Thank you. Is there a limit in how many project proposals an organization can be lead partner, project partner?
No, there's no limit. However, the lead applicant and also project partners must have sufficient cash flow capacities, institutional capacities, technical and human resources, and understanding that in case like 3 or 4 project proposals, let's say if you will be lucky, will be awarded a grant, will your organization be able to pre-finance all those activities? Because Danube Region program is based on reimbursement principle, not on pre-financing, which is a very important point to understand when you join partnership, or especially when you have a role of the lead partner, because actually it's a big responsibility to manage partners and on the top of all have financial responsibilities.
Thank you. Can a SME be a lead applicant of the project?
Lead applicants, no. SMEs cannot be lead applicants, but they can be project partners or associated strategic partners.
Thank you. Is a consortium with several partners required?
Yes, minimum 3 partners from 3 different countries are required. One shall be EU member, an EU country from respective member states. And please check also the applicant's manual. Again, we put stress on checking all the documents which are available on the program website. If you go to the website of the Danube Transnational Program, there is a folder New Programming 21-27. There you will be able to find an exhaustive information. Everything is available there. Please check.
Is it eligible to have a consortium of partners from one country?
No, it is not eligible. Danube Region program is a transnational program. This is a key word. Yes, minimum 3 partners are needed from 3 different countries, out of which one shall be EU member state. You cannot have partners consisting of 3 Serbian partners, let's say. Even if having 2 partners from non-EU member state, at least one should be from EU member state. This is minimum which is required, but we also recommend you to check the projects which have already been financed by the Danube Transnational Program. You can also find this information on the website, and you can see the average size of partnership and associated strategic partners, including financial partners. So for you to have a picture of what was financed previously and what actually we are looking for, something similar in the new program.
Here, can ASPs be added to the partnership after the first stage?
Yes, and not only ASPs, but also product partners can be added to the project. However, the intervention logics shall not be changed between the 2 phases, and the lead applicant cannot be changed. So if you improve your project in terms of partnership or associated strategic partners and partners, so it is possible, and because we understand that now when you submit only an expression of interest, it's like mostly a draft and not extended application form and project proposal. So of course something can be changed, and yes, it is possible.
Thank you. Can the project leader participate as a project partner in other project proposals?
Yes, it is possible. Please make sure to have enough cash flow, technical, human resources, capacities for all projects. As I have a recommendation.
Thank you. Very clear. In the first step, when submitting a project idea, is it necessary to provide information about, yes, as well?
About project partners and
Partners.
lead partners. Yes, the information about project partners, associated strategic partners should be provided in the expression of interest. The identification of the lead partner, project partner, data related to address, contact details, contact persons, partner details, like abbreviated name of the organization, name of the organization in a regional language, name of the organization in English, and department, division, unit if applicable. Legal and financial information should also be filled in. The type of partner and legal status of the partner shall be selected from a drop-down menu. VAT number and information about VAT recovery. Also, address details shall be inserted in the corresponding fields. Information about NUTS codes, meaning the territory you are coming from, the country, the region or county, etc. In the contact title, first and last name of the legal representative and title should be indicated. Email address and telephone number of the contact person also. Applicants will have to describe the structure of the partnership and explain why such partners are needed to implement the project and to achieve project objectives. They should provide this information in the expression of interest. And what is the contribution of project partners for the project, meaning who is responsible for what. When developing the application form, you have specific objectives, and under each specific objectives, there are activities, and there you also will have to indicate partners involved generally, and also in the descriptive part, we also ask you to explain us for us to understand what partners will be involved in the implementation study.
Thank you. Intervention logic.
Yes, this is the next conventional section of our questions.
So here we go. What is meant by transnational dimension impact of a project?
Transnational dimension. So the project topic, the address challenge, and the contributing project activities have transnational, broader territorial and thematic character and relevance. Transnational impact, based on the planned activities and outputs, the impact of the project can be considered relevant on a transnational scale, and not only on local level in different parts of the region. So try to scale up project activities. Try not to tackle only local problems in local communities, which are different, of course, across border. So do not make the project to be cross-border. So we are talking about a transnational dimension. So the impact of the project should be at the scale of the Danube region, at the Danube area. And a collection of different local actions of project partners under one umbrella is not yet transnational.
Thank you. Very clear. Pilot activities, role and investment costs.
So first of all, pilot activities do not relate to investment, so it will be separately covered in the slide. So regarding pilot actions, they are jointly or testing, so testing activities, yes, we can say so. They have an experimental nature and either testing of innovative products, methodologies, tools, etc. or demonstrating the application of existing products, methodologies, tools to a certain territory, sector, the feasibility and effectiveness of procedures, new instruments, tools, experimentation, or the transfer of practices. So, for example, your pilot activity is to test whether the methodology which is developed within the project is feasible, it can be implemented, and you can test it in different environments, which are called actually pilot areas, different pilot actions, pilot areas, different pilot activities can be tested. And after this, you can have solutions developed by the project. So you test methodology and see how it works and where, collect all those results, which are called solutions afterwards, but they should not be very local. They should be relevant for the whole partnership. This is also an important thing to understand. Pilot action is not necessarily an investment, as I have said in the beginning. It can be related also to testing the methodology, software tools, etc.
Thank you. Do all the partners countries need to implement a pilot action in the project?
Not all the partners countries have to implement a pilot action. However, it has to be ensured that the transnational dimension of the pilot action and the solution still remains, even if not all project partners countries are implementing.
Thank you. How shall participants be calculated for trainings?
So this is the quotation, so to say, of the question, and I want to explain you that it relates mostly to RCO 82, participations in joint actions promoting gender equality, equal opportunities and social inclusion for specific objectives 3.1, 3.2 mostly. And the answer is that participants shall not be counted for each type of training once, so they shall be counted for each type of training only once. The lead partner should avoid double counting. So let's say if there is a training on IT something, and one person participates in the same training in Budapest, then travels to Košice to participate, and then comes back to Moldova in order to participate also there in the same training. So it means that this person should be counted only once. If that person participates in different trainings, so it should be counted like a separate participant because that person gets additional knowledge, information from that training.
Thank you. What type of project activities can be financed by the Danube Region program?
Of course, we finance a wide range of activities, and these are like improving policies and institutional capacities. For example, development of joint strategies, action plans, policy and sectoral dialogue networks, trainings, developing solutions, for example, tools, methods, processes, services, databases that are also pilot tested within the project. So if you develop something within the project, the important thing is also to try it in life, whether it will work, whether it will be useful in the future, not only to develop something like a strategy or like some method and put it on the shelf. Information, communication, dissemination activities, supporting the thematic activities, of course. Transnational small-scale investments. So I want to drag your attention to the fact that Danube Region program does not finance large-scale infrastructure. Only some small investments bearing transnational character are possible to be financed. And reasonable mix of activities with clear thematic focus. Each specific objective, as I have already mentioned, have focuses. So your project proposal has to stick to these focuses, and you should not have like the same type of activities, so to say, related only to networking or development of an app. It should be complemented with some other like good mixture of other activities which are complementing each other.
Thank you. Is there a limit how many project-specific objectives can be defined?
Maximum 3 project-specific objectives to be defined in the project.
Clear. Thank you.
Investments, yes, this is also a very important thing to understand that to each specific objective, it is possible to add an investment, if applicable at all. Please note that the Danube Region Program investments are eligible only in case they follow a transnational physical or functional link over the national border, which has been analyzed from transnational point of view and has a clear impact over the national borders, or create a transferable practical solution to a case study in one area, which is jointly evaluated by project partners and transferred for testing in at least 2 other participating countries. A good example can be like info points, yes, which can be tested in certain places, but they should also provide an information about Danube region covering the whole Danube area. Applicants have to indicate the number, the title of investment, and have to justify why this investment is needed and have to describe the transnational relevance. And of course, it should not be predominant in the project budget. This investment, there is no specific percentage, but generally, it is not. We do not finance large-scale infrastructure. So if you have some investments, so this should not be predominant. Applicants should also indicate the objectives of the investment in the correlation with the project objectives and the involvement of the partners. Location and the ownership of the investment shall be indicated. Applicants shall provide a thorough justification for the investment, explaining its necessity for the implementation of the project and achievement of the project objectives, its transnational character of transferability to at least 2 other participating countries, in accordance with the program-specific requirements.
Thank you. Does a solution coming from pilot activities mean that the pilots do not need to be specified in advance? And if yes, to what extent? The pilot actions have to be predefined in intervention logic, or can they be defined later during the project implementation?
So we received a bunch of similar questions. So here we can see like 2 similar but differently formulated questions relating to solutions and pilot activities. So it is recommended from the program side to have at least a concept of the pilot, a general definite description of it. It is understandable that it is in some cases very difficult to define in all small details what kind of pilot will it be, but at least in the project proposal you can have a description how you are going to figure out all the details at the later stage of the project implementation. And however, if the applicant can estimate how many pilots will be performed and in what environment they will be piloted, then some general information should be provided as it is the basis for the project assessment.
Thank you. How communication and dissemination and management activities should be described under the expression of interest, especially when it comes from common activities under several project-specific objectives. For example, establishing of steering committee meetings, project management, and project reporting. It is also not clear how to proceed with the budget for those general activities.
Management and communication activities bear a horizontal character in the Danube Region Program. The budget for communication activities has to be integrated along other project activities. When describing activities, always provide a description of who will be responsible for what. In case of communication activities, you may describe them more specifically when tackling certain activities. Management-related activities are not to be described in the work plan of the expression of interest. In the second step, in the full application form, there will be a dedicated field. It's very important for you to understand that now, when providing an expression of interest, there is not even a field where you can describe management. It can be done later at the second step. When forming the budget, it is also required to provide only like general budget for the first step. So you can detail it later. So generally, management and communication, you can conventionally calculate how much money you need for management and distribute this amount equally among project activities, because there will not be work packages as we used to have in the Danube Transnational Program. There will not be a specific work package on management and communication. There will be only specific objectives, and under those maximum 3, and under those specific objectives, you have to define activities. And in those activities, you have to integrate management. Of course, for communication activities, we require to describe how communication activities will be done within certain activities. You can even have separate, but don't create a separate specific objective with separate activity management or having SCOM meetings. It is not required. Later, when submitting the application, full application form in the second step, there will be a dedicated field for management where you will be able to explain the management structure and the conventional budget, your planned budget, which we plan to allocate for this.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Does the support for interinstitutional relations also mean financing exchanges of experience between partners?
Exchanging experience between the partners is relevant in each project, but this activity shall not be only an element of the project that is complementing the other activities, outputs, and results. So you should avoid only matchmaking the activities. So try to scale activities up and think a bit wider in order to have a good transnational project.
Thank you. Can you confirm that no signed declarations are required from partners, ESPs, in step 1?
In the first step, applicants are requested to submit electronically through the Joint Electronic Monitoring System, which is called GEMS, only an expression of interest, outlining mainly the intervention logic of the proposal and its strategic relevance for the Danube region program. So yes, we are stating that no additional supporting documents are to be delivered at this stage. Even if you want to attach something, it will not be assessed. Only the expression of interest itself in electronic version through GEMS.
Thank you.
GEMS, this is also an interesting section, but we already had a webinar on GEMS where you can find all the details. But here we also received some questions on GEMS and considered to be necessary to cover them here.
So, when will be GEMS available to submit the application form? Is there any user manual for GEMS? Where can we find it?
Yes, GEMS is available on our website. There's folder new funding 21-27. You can go on the section calls for proposal or how to apply, and in the section documents. So here is a print screen on the slide even where you can find the necessary information about GEMS. Also, please check webinars. There was our separate webinar on GEMS. And of course, there's provided guidelines like step-by-step manual how to fill in the intention of interest in GEMS.
Thank you. How to assign roles for project partners in GEMS?
The lead partner or the lead applicant can grant access rights for opening the expression of interest to the project partners or collaborators. It's not obligatory. It's up to the partnership to decide whether other partners want to be involved in the development of project proposals directly in GEMS, filling in the data, or they can have only the role view where they can only check the information which was filled in. So for you to understand that, first of all, the lead partner should be registered And then it's up to the partnership to decide how to distribute tasks between partners and which roles to assign. And in order to receive access rights, a third party should register in GEMS and provide the lead applicant with the email address of the registered user. The access right is enabled in the project privileges section. User can be granted other read-only rights, which is like view. A user can access all the expression of interest sections without being in the position of making any change. Edit rights. A user can modify, fill in all the expression of interest sections, or like lead applicants, right? Manage. A user has both edit rights, but also access to the management of the project privileges section. Only users with manage rights can submit the expression of interest. Thus, we recommend that only the lead applicant has the manage rights, while the other users are assigned only edit or read-only rights. And it is possible, very important to understand, for different users to work at the same time on the same expression of interest. When working in parallel, users have to make sure that they are not working simultaneously in the same section or subsection, as there is a risk to override information or data loss, and try to save permanently all the work you have already done, because MAGF does not take responsibility for data loss in GEMS.
Thank you very much, and do not submit 12 minutes before 12. I think
Early
this is-
submission is
Yes,
recommended. Yes.
thank you. So thank you, Natalia. It was really nice. It was clear. And now my colleague Mirjana Arsenic-Petrovic will answer to the questions related to the budget. Thank you, Miri, and the floor is yours.
Thank you. Just, I would like also to mention that for this session, we collected the questions and we actually selected the one which, because we received several questions on the same
Mhm.
topic. So we picked one question and gave an answer.
So here we go. Will there be a grant for preparation costs once the project has been approved by the program?
Yes, approved projects will be entitled to receive the reimbursement of preparation costs in the form of lump sum, but only accept for the projects who already received financial support for the preparation. For example, under the new strategy for the Danube region, so seed money facility or any other funds. What is important here that the amount is 18,500 per project. This is a total amount, out of which 14,800 will be received by the lead partner, which is 80% of the Interreg funds, and they will be reimbursed to the lead partner with the first reporting period.
Thank you.
Also important that for this, no supporting documents will be needed, considering it's a lump sum.
Thank you. Thank you for clarifying. Next question, can the budget be changed between the first and the second step, and to what extent? By budget change, I mean changes between partners and changes between activities. Very important question. I think that it was repeating.
Yes, my colleague already mentioned, answered actually most of this question. Yes, the budget can be changed, of course, depending on activities, changing of the partnership. If some new partners will join, then of course, budget can be actually increased or decreased. As my colleague Natalia already mentioned, only the lead applicant and intervention logic cannot be changed between two steps. And also the maximum 4 project partners from year I can be withdrawn with or without replacement for the second step.
Thank you. Thank you. Very important. Next question, we need more details about how to construct the project budget.
Yes, good questions. Yes, so in this first phase, it's not necessary to have a detailed budget. However, because only total budget for each partner will be introduced in the EOI for each partner in external expertise budget line in the first reporting period. However, this calculation, this total budget needs to have a realistic calculation and has to have connection with activities which are proposed. So the basic for calculation is the project work plan and respective activities and tasks for the specific project partner, which has to cover those activities covered by the staff of organization, what tasks, services, and how much are to be subcontracted, and how many trips of the staff are to be planned, for how much, or for example, if some equipment might be necessary. So actually, the cost categories has to be taken into consideration, but just not specifically detailed in this phase.
So dear Danubians, I hope that you're attentive and you're taking the notes. It will be also uploaded to this webinar on our web page, but however, please follow attentively what my colleagues are just explaining. So thank you, Miri. Let's go to the next one. What can be the minimum and maximum cost of the project?
Yeah, this will be a short answer. We don't have any minimum or maximum cost of the project. It's not defined on a core level or program level. The budget needs to be realistic and actually has to, let's say, correspond to the activities.
And this is the main point, to be realistic, the main principles and correspond to the activities. Thank you, Miri. Very short. Let's move. What are the conditions for co-financing? Is it applying institution expected to finance the rest of the 20% of the funds, or will it be provided through other funds?
So the Danube region program projects are co-financed by Interreg funds. This means that the co-financing rate for EU contribution is 80% for directly financed project partners. The 20% project partners contribution can be covered with several options. State contribution, own sources, which can be private or public, and from other sources like regional, local. What is very important here that every partner checks. We have on our website the document overview of national co-financing system. This document is available on our program website, but also please contact your national contact points. They will give you all the information which are necessary so you can plan properly and you check if your country is providing the state contribution, for example.
Thank you very much. I would like to ask you for the explanation of cost categories and principles of their calculation.
I don't think we have enough time for this. This is a very broad topic. But today, I would just like to mention several very important things. All the details are explained. We have a document called Manual on Eligibility of Expenditure, which is available on our program website. And in the second step, we will hold the seminar for the second step applicants, where will be detailed all this topic. But for now, I would like just to mention that according to the regulation, we have 6 cost categories. First, the staff cost, then office administrative expenditure cost. The third topic is the travel and accommodation cost. Then external expertise and services cost category, equipment expenditure, and infrastructure and works. So within the 6 cost categories, all the expenditures all the activities and expenditures needs to be structured.
Thank you very much. We're moving. For staff cost category, will it be estimated as before taking into account all project activities, or will it be a lump sum as it is the office and administration?
Well, in the Danube region program, staff costs can be reimbursed using two methods. One is the real cost basis method, and another one is the flat rate, up to 20% of the direct cost other than staff cost. However, the method which will be applicable for the first call will be selected and defined, specified in the call announcement for the second step. So when you will read the call announcement for the second step, there you will have exact which methods will be used for the staff cost and so for the travel cost. This will be.
Thank you. Do travel and accommodation costs of ASPs fall under external budget line or travel and accommodation budget line?
We consider the associate strategic partners in a way part of our project. So that's why the travel and accommodation cost of associate strategic partners should be planned and reported under the travel and accommodation cost category.
Thank you. Is VAT ineligible cost in every case if it is recoverable under national legislation, whether is amount of total cost of operation below, equal or under 5 million euro?
Yeah, oh, yes. Well, this is a novelty in this programming period 21-27, and we introduced this rule. So at the program level, value-added tax is not eligible cost, except for the operations where the total costs are below 5 million, including VAT, and for the operations which total costs are at least 5 million, where they are not recoverable under the national VAT legislation. Considering that this question is very much related to the national VAT legislation, I would like to advise the potential applicant to raise this question to address this question to the relevant national contact point. They will give all the information related to the national VAT legislations.
Thank you. Will funds be reimbursed for the entire project or in equal parts or after? So will you maybe help me please with this question, or in part, all completed project plans?
Yes, so just shortly to explain how it works. So
Very nice drawing on the slide.
yes, so the project duration is maximum 30 months. This 30 months will be the project implementation period. It is divided in reporting periods. In general, it's a 6 months reporting period. First and last reporting periods can be shorter or longer, but and also this reporting period will be defined in the subsidy contract. What is important that within one reporting period, you are spending some money, so performing some activities, so you have the costs which are paid and incurred. Then you submit the report, the create report. The report is validated by the first level controller, and then the lead partner will prepare the progress report and application for reimbursement, where this cost will be included, and the certificate will be included within 3 months. Then he reports to the MHJS, and we are checking this report, of course, within 30 days. This depends actually on the quality of the report itself, when the report will be approved. The last stage is that when we approve the report, then we are sending this to the certifying authority, which is the institution which transfers the payment to the lead applicant, lead partner, which then transfers to the project partner. So the whole period is, let's say, 10 months, which has to the partner, since we are in the reimbursement principle, which the partners needs to have the capacity, financial capacity to perform activities, to have reimbursements, or to have the financial support. As my colleague already mentioned, is important for the partners.
And thank you. And this is very important information for how long they have to plan. So yes, it's very practical and of big interest for our applicants. Is there advance payment from the program to the project when the project approved by the Danube Region program?
No, we do not provide advance payment of the Interreg funds contribution. We, as I just explained, we are working on reimbursement principle, this periodical reports, and the project partners, as I mentioned, needs to sufficient cash flow capacities.
Thank you. It's never too much to repeat
That's
over and over again. What are the most common mistakes when submitting these projects? And now, Natalia.
Yes, we are rotating, so it's difficult to say what are the most common mistakes as far as they can differ from project to project, but generally needs and challenges are not defined for the target area of the project, but refer to EU level, global level. So your project has to be focused and has to identify clearly what needs and challenges it will tackle and it will provide solutions for. Of course, choosing the partners for quantitative and not qualitative reasons. So if just involving the partner because you volunteer to be there and you involve a partner which doesn't really contribute to the project and in order to have additional country, let's say, so it's also a mistake and it will be a part of assessment. Connection of project proposed outputs and results to program indicators. So output and result indicators. So they have to be, there is an obligatory output and result indicators. So you again have to check applicant's manual and all program documents in order to make sure that you follow all the requirements and all the set needs and your project meets all the requirements of the program. And also when developing the project proposal, there is a field cooperation criteria, like at least 3 cooperation criteria out of 4 have to be selected, but you can tag all 4 of them during implementation, during development, during implementation, during financing, and during staffing in order to make sure. If 2 of them are mandatory, but you have to select at least 3. But you can select all 4. It's also a mistake at eligibility level, actually. Project stands out on local needs, and each partner has a different local need. We try to develop a transnational project, not a cross-border one. Like try to think globally what are the challenges at the Danube region scale of your project. And what added value, what problems will the project solve, what change will it bring at transnational level, not thinking of small local needs only. Overestimation of the budget and unbalanced distribution in line with partners' involvement. Your budget has to be justified properly. So if you declare that you will spend a certain amount for equipment, you have to be precise in the descriptive part why, and also is there a need in this also. So if you have partners, you assign roles to partners, so also try to distribute a budget in a balanced way between them. Don't allocate like 80% of budget to one partner and like 3% to others. It will be considered to be an unbalanced budget. You are developing the joint project proposal together in consortium with your project partners, and your goal is to develop and implement a good transnational joint project. Thank you for your attention. I think we have finished.
Thank you, Natalia, once again, and thank you, Miri. It was so how to say understandable what everything that for our applicants, and it was really my big pleasure to listen to you, to both of you. Now we finish with our first part, questions we received through registrations. And now we will start replying to the questions we're receiving in group chat. Unfortunately, the Slido is not working right now, but never mind, we received some questions. Now my dear colleague Kovac Kata will be replying when it comes to intervention logic partnership, and also my colleague, financial officer, Mikhailo Sismilovic will be joining us in meeting. So shall we start now?
Yes, we have to stop sharing the screen.
Sorry, we are at the moment not seeing the question and answers. See it? Okay. Let's go to the top of the question.
Mhm. So are we ready?
Yes.
There is one participant wishing us good morning. And the question is, in case a person did not register but would like to participate, how can she connect now?
I think the colleagues in the meantime did answer some. Yes, Simona did already
Mhm.
answer the
Okay.
question that the link which was shared for you is you can forward it to the person you would like to invite to the webinar. I hope you could do it and the person could attend.
And once again, it will be uploaded on our website. So please, for those who would like to go through, and you should go through it again, because there are a lot of information of your importance. And those who missed it for whatever reason, please check it. It will be uploaded today or Wednesday earliest. So next question is. Okay. So there is one applicant saying, I can imagine that your email box is exploding from questions and requests, and you're right. Can you please advise on the time frame you may react, answer to emails, or provide time frame for consultation? Thank you in advance. Maybe I can just say that please do get in touch with the project officer responsible for the specific objective and you're interested in, and then you can arrange for a bilateral consultation or whatever. Okay, so next question is yes, it is. We do apologize. We have some technical problem, but this is the risk that we are running when having online. I would like to know whether one organization can be a partner in more consortia, both for the same specific goal and for different. Yes, it was answered.
Yes,
Mhm.
it can be
be
confirmed.
Yes.
Yes, but please bear in mind the capacity issues what Natalia was already sharing with you, but it is possible. No, this one is a longer question.
Mhm.
Sorry, it's very hard to read it all in one, but we will try. It's a long one. Still a bit.
Still a bit. We need to go.
I would read it because I've
Yes,
seen,
yes, please.
I've seen it's a complicated
Yes,
one.
please.
You see, we cannot find the.
If it's okay, I can read the questions because for me it's easy.
Oh, thank you,
Thank you,
Simona.
Simo.
Because we are
So,
not able to
I will
stand.
go in order what was not answered. How many, so there was the question if the presentation will be posted on the website. Yes, including the recording.
Mhm.
Then how many project outputs can a specific objective have?
Yes, also be included in the presentation. Maximum 3 specific objectives can be addressed by one project.
Yes, but the question is how many project outputs can a specific objective have? Outputs.
How many outputs? The outputs we are not limiting based on the activities that you are planning. You should nicely plan the outputs what are to be linked to those activities. I would like to highlight again your attention to check the applicant's manual relevant part when we are describing the output indicators and also the result indicators. And it is very important to highlight that we have an Annex 1, which is explaining each indicator one by one. So we will have some indicator related questions now, I can see, but it is important that you go through and read the description of that relevant output and or result indicator to understand whether it fits to your activity. So once the activity is defined, you can decide which output can be linked to that activity, and then based on the mandatory links between output and results indicators, you are able to choose the correct result indicator for the project.
Thank you, Kata. There is one financial. What is the minimum and what is the maximum budget of the project?
We have already answered this question. We don't have limits, so it has to be realistic and according to the planned activities and outputs.
Thank you. I think that we also replied this one. I would like to know whether one organization can be, yes.
Yes, they can participate in more projects, but please be sure that you have capacity for all. Thank you.
Next question. What is the main difference with regard to the depth of content of information to be submitted within the frame of the expression of interest phase and the main proposal phase application form in spring
Yes.
2003?
In case some of you participated in the GEMS webinar, what our colleague Gustav Csomor was having, here also there it was highlighted that in the current expression of interest phase, you can see only some questions of the full application forms. So some additional questions and sections of the application form will be added to this same format. So nothing will be lost, what you fulfilled in this expression of interest phase. And you will receive, if you are invited to the second phase, you will receive from MAJS a letter in which we make recommendations or suggestions, or maybe even we are cutting something that you should modify. So it's a complex question. In case you are receiving some advice or request from MAJS, you have to also apply those in the second phase to your proposal, but additionally, you also need to fill in those extra parts, for example, the budget, what also was the question concerning the management and also the budget categories. As now we don't need the budget categories to be broken down, but in the second phase, you will be able to do that as well.
Thank you, Kata.
Thank you.
Will recordings be available on web page Danube and where? Yes, they will be available, as I said before, and there is a section new funding, and under that section there is a subsection webinars where you can also find the webinars held before. All the webinars will be there, so please go through them. Next question is piloting one edition in 10 countries at the same time, involving project partners 10, ESPs 5, and SMEs 10. What is the correct number of the outputs from pilot actions and the IC? For the output 84, should it be 1 number of the audition or 10 number of location? Well, but I can see I can stop and you
I
will.
think if let's start from the scratch. So one edition in 10 countries at the same time, but you are also adding that you will have 10 project partners and 5 associated partners. Also SMEs, if you are involving them, shall have one of the statuses. So now in the question, the status of the SMEs is not set. However, we don't know how you would like to set up the partnership. In case you are having a pilot action which is focusing on a special topic, we don't mind that in how many partner countries you are testing that pilot. If it's the same content, that it counts as one pilot. If some countries is piloting a certain part of a tool or methodology, and the other partner countries are testing a different part of or method or concept of a possible solution, then we have two. So how many topics you are piloted, that's how you can count the number of pilots. So it's not based on the how many countries are piloting it, but on the content of the pilot, how many content is piloted. Okay, so coming back to the SMEs, if it is actually not relevant, because in case they are PPs or ASPs, it doesn't matter. In case they are also part of the piloting, then the number of pilots shall be counted based on the content, how many pilots were prepared. What is the correct number of outputs from pilot? Yes, we just discussed this. And the ICI. For the ICI, be careful, because in that sense, we are only counting those partners who are additionally participating and having some capacity building advanced added value from the project. It's not enough that they are sitting at a meeting being invited, and they are not those partners who are anyway in the partnership involved. Output indicator 85, should it be 1 number of the addition or 10? Is the same question. Yes, if it's 1 pilot based on the content, it doesn't matter how many countries you were tested it will be 1 pilot. For output 118 and for result indicator ICI, should it be 15 or 25? No, be careful, because this indicator, the 118, is referring only to specific objective 4.1, the EU SDR governance, no, 4.1. So this is not relevant, I guess, for your project. So if I am now opening the applicant's manual, I would think that you should be considering the 87 output indicator, which is organizations cooperating across borders. And again, SMEs shall not be counted in a different way. They are either ESPs or project partners. The only thing is that they cannot be lead partners. So you should not calculate them in a different way than others.
Okay. Did you finish?
Yes, and please check out the Annex 1, because here we can see that probably you are not targeting the correct output indicator and result indicator, but you can also, please don't be shy and contact the relevant project officer, and then we can also discuss it in a consultation. Thank you.
Thank you, Kata. Thank you very much.
Just a second, Miri. If
Yes.
I may add something, because I have more time to read the question, because I'm not talking. So I think that the question refers to the fact when in the pilot, you are involving project partners, ASP, and some SMEs that are third parties to the project. And in case of ICI, only the SMEs are counted, because they are increasing the institutional capacity, because the partners are already counted under the RCO 87, organizations cooperating across borders. So you should always avoid this double counting. You count partners in RCO 87, and in ICI, you are counting in the pilot if there are third organizations that are taking part in the pilot. If I understand correctly the question, I think this is because this is how I understand if I read.
Okay, thank you, Simona, for complementing. We do hope it was like this.
Thank you. If pilot actions are to test the methodology and after the implementation, we shall derive a joint solution, what shall we list as output under that specific objective, the pilots and or the final solution?
Both shall be listed, because you have outputs as pilot activities and you also have a joint solution.
Thank you. In some text boxes of GEMS, there is a 5,000 characters allowed. Can we consider this number?
I mean, you shall consider this number. So if there is a 5,000 characters limit, you cannot write more. The system would not let you. So you can write less, but you cannot write more than that amount
Thank you. Is there a matchmaking platform?
yet.
Not yet. Not yet. Unfortunately, we had to, I mean, it's not unfortunately, we're working with public money. So we also changed the institution from the Ministry of Finance. We went to the to the Prime Minister's office. So the procurement is lagging behind, but we are really working a lot on it, and we do hope that soon there will be a matchmaking platform. But in order to allow you to connect with other project partners, we created a LinkedIn group. So please join the group. There are quite some activities of the group, and then we said you can always contact your national contact points. So please use those opportunities, and we do hope that very soon there will be a matchmaking platform. So does Danube Region Program funds a purely academic research project? Funds purely?
No. So if the question is like this, that purely only the academic research is not supported, it can be a part of the project, but I would also suggest you to have a look at the specific objective fact sheets and or also the webinars which are available, because there we were discussing for each specific objectives which activities are not supported. But in general, the Danube Region program is not focusing on pure research-oriented project. So this shall be taken into consideration.
Thank you, Kata. The application of intervention express of interest on the platform shall be made by the lead partner only.
It is optional how the lead partner is managing the fulfillment of the expression of interest. You can give editing rights to your partners, but as Natalia was also mentioning it on the slide, please check it after we finish this question and answer blog. You will see there also the information. You can share the rights, so also other PPs can edit the format, but you have to make sure that the data are not lost, because if you are simultaneously working on the same section, it might happen that you are overwriting each other's text. So you have to be careful that it is done properly, but only the LP or that partner who has managing rights can submit the final expression of interest through the system.
Thank you very much. Can we budget for travel costs related to the project target group attending project events?
Yes, I will answer this question. So the travel cost of the project staff and associated strategic partner, I already said this before during my presentation, should be planned and reported budgeted under the travel and accommodation budget line. All the other travel costs related to the project, for example, external experts, travel cost of them, visiting the project events, stakeholder groups, should be budgeted under external expertise budget line. Of course, they have to be well justified. It cannot be just a budget for they have to have some role there. It's not only visiting. So this is.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Might affiliated companies from two different countries be both eligible as project partners?
Now, this might be a tricky question. With eligibility questions, I would suggest you to contact the respective national contact points to check the legal status of the relevant companies. Theoretically, I think it can work, but we should know the details. Which country, which type of legal status they have.
Yes, so always to turn to the national contact
Yes.
points for
Confirm.
yes. Is it possible to change a lead partner in GEMS after registering a project proposal idea?
I think that during the drafting process, all the information can be rewritten. So before you are submitting the proposal, you can still change it. The code will be the same, what the system is giving, but all the information is editable for you before submission. After submission, not anymore. But in case you realize that you did something wrong, you can start a new one. And even if it is with the same title, we would consider the final one which was submitted.
Thank you. Please tell us how the Interreg team evaluate project partnership and project goals. What methodology do you apply?
It is very clearly included in the applicant's manual assessment section. It's the evaluation grids are published there, so you can have a look and read exactly all the questions and also the comments, how we are giving the points and assessing the partnership and the goals. Please have a look and then you will see.
Thank you. It was said that during the period between step 1 and step 2, 4 partners from the initial proposal can be withdrawn. If a partner wants to change from PP to ASP or vice versa, is it counted as one of the 4 allowed changes?
You can change the statuses of the partners. This limitation of 4 means that you are withdrawing from the partnership and you are adding more than, so if more than 4 partners are withdrawing, that's not fine. But if you are changing the statuses between the partners, that is okay.
Thank you. What is the budget framework for a project?
If they change from project partner. it's
So-
considered change.
Yeah, but until 4.
Yes,
Yes, it's
That's
considered,
how I
but this is
small
not
consultations.
considered. Yes, it
We are
is.
continuing.
Sorry, I didn't read the last part of the question. It is counted, if a partner wants to change from PP to ASP or vice versa, it is counted as one of the 4 allowed. Yes, it is counted like that. So you can, yes, so you have to count it and not exceed the 4 as number of changes. Sorry if it was not clear.
Thank you, Kata. You know, online there's always something won't be read, but I think that we're managing quite well. So, is the budget framework for a project? What is the budget framework for a project? 1.5 to 2.5 million euro. What can a partnership receive? When can a partnership receive 2.5 million?
Shall I?
I mean,
We don't have
we
limits.
don't have a limit. I mean,
Yes, as colleagues shared, we can only confirm that we don't have budget frameworks set. So the budget shall be in compliance with the activities, number of partners, project goals, and it shall be realistically planned and justified. So we cannot address this question in another way.
Thank you, Kata. As many times mentioned here also with Miri and Natalia. So considering that the communication and management activities are integrated part of other project activities within project specific objectives, can we assign one of included project partners to be responsible for managing communication activities on project level, or should this task also be done by the lead partner?
Yes, although we are not having work packages anymore, you can set for each activity who will be responsible for that. And in case the communication activity you manage as a horizontal activity, you can assign one partner who will be the main responsible partner for handling these activities. But it's very important to highlight that all the PPs shall participate in the joint communication action plan, what you are actually targeting to reach the goals and the impact with your project. So please do not think that if you assign the task to one single PP, the rest can be fine and not, looking after of these impact-related and dissemination activities. It is still a joint activity to be completed.
Thank you, Kata. Can daily allowances be paid from the project for ASP's participants as well? Merit?
Yes, in general, yes. It has to be in line with the sponsoring partners institution regulation. So the associated strategic partner needs to check with the sponsoring partner the rules, how this can be reimbursed. So before, actually, this is a good, but thank you actually for raising this question. When deciding to have a sponsoring partner or being a sponsoring partner, you really have to check how this reimbursement of the travel costs can be done. So if both institutions have capacities to do it. And also the sponsoring partners should check with the first level controllers to address to the national level, also to check what are the requirements and some specificities on this level. So definitely can be, but should be in line with both institutions' regulation, especially sponsoring partner, because the sponsoring partner is covering the costs of the strategic partner.
Thank you very much. Please clarify whether the amount of management costs have to be indicated, because we got different information. One more version is on the management section in GEMS per project partner, and second version is in the specific objectives spreaded per activities.
Thank you. I think also Natalia addressed already this question. Now, in the expression of interest phase, management costs shall not be indicated separately. Only the activity level is what we are targeting now in this phase. So for each activity, please indicate the planned budget. Other than that, for each project partner, we would like to see the total amount for that project partner planned in the external expertise budget line, period 1. There were I also had some consultations when this management issue was raised, and it's this one version which is mentioned here, that in the management section in GEMS, that will be available in the second round. So if you now have a look in the management section for expression of interest, there is not even a box to include any information. In the second round, it will be there, and you can detail the management cost. Sorry, and maybe one
I just wanted to say that we will organize in next stage. We will organize another meeting that we can present
Yes.
all things related to this matter.
Yes.
Thank you both. I created an account on GEMS, and it appears that there is no open calls. When this will be available?
The call is open, so I would suggest to contact the GEMS help desk email address, where we can give you specified help, and we can clear the issue why you cannot see the call. It's open, it's there.
Thank you. Is it possible to consult on project idea with national contact point from any partner, or is it compulsory to consult with the LP's national contact point?
I think it is possible, but the LP should be, also responsible for coordinating the preparation of the project proposal. If you have specific questions discussed with the LP during the preparation, which shall be answered by the NCP, just like eligibility questions, certainly you can go and contact your national contact point, even in your own language. You can discuss the legal issues or any eligibility criteria, but it is important that the LP should be always aware of all discussions, so that everyone can see the same picture.
Thank you, Kata. Is there any platform where project ideas, which are in the phase of preparation for expression of interest, are listed? Where can we present ourselves as project partner or ASP, where we can present our expression of interest. This was partly answered. What you can do right now, join the LinkedIn group. You can find it also on our link to it on our website. So please become a member of the group, and there you can present your idea, or you can ask to join a partnership, present yourself, what your institution is generally in which topic is involved. And you will see that there are already a lot of activities. So potential project partners presenting their ideas or searching for other project partners to join the consortia, or asking to join some partnerships. So please consult it and become a member. Is there a limitation on the number of activities per project-specific objective, minimum or maximum number?
There is no limitation, but please be feasible. So keep the project proposal focused, and you should bear in mind that you have to be able to implement all those activities during the project period. So it shall be fitted to the specific objectives and your targeted outputs. So please consider to have a reasonable amount of activities, but we don't have a minimum or maximum number.
Thank you, Kata. How can we arrange a bilateral consultation with the JS, and what is the deadline for applying for a consultation?
All the contact details of the project officers is available on the website. So there you can check out our contact details. I would recommend to use the email. That might be easier or better than the mobile phone, because in case we are in a meeting just like now, we would never answer the phone. So I think that direct emailing is working well. And then the colleagues will answer quite quickly. Even during this webinar, I received already one request. There is no deadline, but you have to consider that we have to be able to set the consultation date prior the submission deadline of the project, and you still have to have time to finalize according to the consultation your project proposal. So please try to plan ahead and set the consultation
for a reasonable time frame. Is there any threshold for filling in the investment text boxes?
No, we don't have any threshold for investment boxes. It has to be well justified. It has to be realistic. So it should be related to the project. We don't have any minimum maximum limit. It should be related to the project. So no threshold set on the program level. Yeah.
Thank you.
Last questions, I think I cannot answer, but
Okay, sorry, I didn't see it. So when an entity is involved in a project as an ASP, can that entity be at the same time in the position of a provider of external services financed from the project's budget?
Absolutely not. Thank you. Absolutely cannot and should not. It's against the principles of the program. So the ASP, if someone is involved at ASP, this means that his travel and accommodation cost can be covered from the sponsoring partners, not other relations. This also, we have a general rule that the partners of the one project cannot be subcontracted. Also, the project staff cannot be subcontracted by the other project partner, by the institutions as a project partners within a project. So absolutely not.
Thank you. Can one partner be in several projects at the same time?
The answer is still yes. Yes, it is possible with the condition that you are able to participate with good capacities in all projects.
Thank you. I have a question about the cross-border cooperation. Is the majority of the actions, implementations happen in cross-border regions? Is it still okay to have a few actions along the Danube in non-cross-border cities regions?
Well, in case your project proposal is mainly focusing on cross-border topics and outcomes and solutions, then you are not able to maybe present the transnational dimension of the project. So you should be careful that in case it is like we are having even several cross-border areas in the project involved, but they are, not interconnected with each other, then it is still that what we had also on one of the slides as an answer, that we don't have the transnational impact and dimension of the project, because all actions and solutions should be interconnected, interlinked, and be a common solution for the region, what we are targeting. So please consider.
Thank you, Kata. Is it possible, if the staff cost is calculated as flat rate, that we calculate travel and accommodation cost as flat rate as well?
Yes, it is possible, as it is possible for office administration cost to be calculated also as a flat rate. However, I've just underlined that these methods are available on a program level, but which one will be selected in the first call which will be applicable for the first call of proposal will be set in a call announcement. But you have to plan realistically, I understand. So technically it is possible.
Thank you. Could you please provide us the link with information about the list of states which could co-finance the other 20% of the project?
On our website, I mentioned the document.
I will copy paste now.
Thank you very much, Simona.
There, so yes, and also it's on the website on how to apply section. So,
Yes.
But now you have it, I hope.
So I would like to mention a couple of things there. So this document consists of two important types of information. One is related to the control cost, which has to be calculated for the certain countries, which of course you should check if it applies on your country, and about the co-financing, if the country is providing the state contribution and which are the conditions to apply for it. So please advise this. If you cannot find it or something, contact the national contact points. They will give you all the relevant information.
Thank you very much.
Yes, it's moved.
It's moved.
Just a second.
We have to get back to the right order of the question. No,
it's
still
still.
below.
Okay, it was.
Here it was.
Yes.
Are there any restrictions?
Are there any restrictions regarding the maximum amount of for pilot investments?
It has to be realistic. We don't have maximum amount, as you already mentioned. It has to be related to the topic and in line with the general rules of economy, effectiveness, and value for money. Actually, it has to be so depending. But in general, as my colleague already explained, what type of investment we are financing. They are not usually very high amounts, so we are not focused on investment. This is the point. Our projects are not focused on investment.
Can we get financial support for tourism studies too? But as we said, those questions are topic related. We won't be answering now, but please do get in touch with our colleagues, project officers responsible for specific objectives, and they will answer to your questions. In which chapter should the legislative and programming references be included in?
I'm not sure I understand the question correctly. About the legal status of the partners and lead partners, you have to fill in the expression of interest part when you are giving the identification of the partners. The programming references, if you think of the specific objectives, maybe, we don't know, then you can also select it there in the expression of interest in GEMS. it's a drop-down box. You can select priorities and specific objectives. I hope we answered the question, or maybe some colleague would like to complement, I don't know.
Maybe the question refers that an applicant lists the legal framework, which nowhere has to be listed, the legal framework, the regulations, or we are not requesting this kind of things. This is how I understand.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay, thank you.
Nowhere, if this is the question, we don't ask applicants to list legal framework for the program.
I would like to inquire if it is a requirement that activities are also implemented in the EU member state involved in the project.
Yes. I mean, the activities shall be implemented in the relevant member states that you are having as partners in your project. Some projects do have outputs like which they can then further take to outside of the Danube region and introduce the solution, the output, the methodology on a conference. That is possible.
Yeah.
But otherwise, yes, the activities have to be implemented here in the Danube region area.
Thank you, Kata. And here comes one question similar to the one that we had. How can we arrange a bilateral consultation with JS, and what is the deadline for applying for a consultation?
Yes, we already answered it. Please contact us per email and set a consultation date as soon as possible to have enough time to finalize your project before the deadline.
Thank you. A lead partner could be a private company from the EU.
No, private companies cannot be lead partners. It doesn't matter from which country they are coming from. Yeah, profit-making companies cannot be.
Thank you. Please clarify if the budget description in the expression of interest phase requires 1. Only total budget for each project partner, or 2nd, also total amounts attributed to particular activities covered by the project. This topic was debated several times during webinars, but the provided answers have been somehow confusing.
Yes. So we try to be clear again. We hope it will be like that this time. Total budget for each project partner has to be planned and included in expression of interest. So the answer is yes. Total amounts to activities also have to be described in the activity description. It is also written in the guidelines for how to fill in the expression of interest. So I do hope we answered. Maybe somebody would like to complement.
Yeah, actually.
Maybe we can add one more thing from our side. Our colleague Gusti already explained everything. You can find that webinar on our website. I think the name is How to Use GEMS. And in that webinar, you can find all relevant information regarding this topic.
And also we have these guidelines how to fill in the UI step by step in GEMS, which Natalia mentioned. So please open the
And if someone is still having concerns, please contact us per email, and we would be able to help you. But we do hope that it is clear now.
There is 250 people listening to this webinar, potential partners. A list of the participants would be great tool for matching.
Indeed.
Indeed. When registering...
So just a second. Unfortunately, no, we cannot disseminate the list of participants. We have to follow the GDPR rules. So no, the list of participants no, but please connect through LinkedIn or write to the national contact points, and they can help you with partners, or they can put you in contact with other lead partners who are searching for partners.
So yeah, Thank you. So yes, indeed, it would be a great tool, but we have, I mean, these legal obstacles. So yes, the LinkedIn group is still there, and I think that it is more efficient than just spreading the contacts, which we can't. So please request to become a member of the group, and as said, you will see that there are many people, many potential partners searching for other partners or presenting their ideas. What are the guidelines to split preparation cost included in lead partner budget between the partners, or is no splitting foreseen as lead partner also gives its 20% own contribution to the preparation cost?
So we do not provide any guidelines in this respect. So we are, as I mentioned in my presentation, we are providing the lump sum, which means that the lead partner will receive without necessary supporting documents. How this will be distributed further, we are not monitoring this. So it's up to the partnership how to settle this.
Thank you. Is it a requirement for a pilot action to be eligible to have its solution tested at other project locations as well?
It is okay. So a pilot action can be piloted. That's why it is. So that's why the name it is covering the action, that it shall be piloted by the project partners. It is up to the proposal and the project idea to decide which project partners are piloting that action in which area or which country. We also had a similar question earlier on. And what is important, that you can only have a joint solution if the pilot action was tested. Otherwise, we cannot have a solution in the project. I hope I answered.
Yes.
Well. I don't know whether
If
someone would like to
complement.
complement.
Is it acceptable for the program that partners in Serbia get simplified tender documentation in national language from a national authority to use in single tender procedure?
Thank you very much for this very advanced implementation type of question. What I can say for the current, so for the Danube transnational program, the IPA partners and Serbian partners are following Prague public procurement procedure. What we are, the Serbia, we are still in a process of negotiating and preparing the financing agreement signed by the Serbia, where it will be defined among all which public procurement rules will be followed. Most probably it will be Prague. And for the details, please contact the colleagues from Serbia, so national contact point. They might give you more information on this.
Thank you. No, is it? So it seems that we answered to all the questions. So thank you very much. It was my pleasure. And I hope that you really got useful information, that my colleagues answered to all your doubts. And once again, please check all the program documents. You have it on the website. And please go through the webinars that you can find under the section New Funding. So shall we now finish the webinar?
And please contact us with every specific question so that you can have a very good proposal prepared.
Yes, so the colleagues are waiting for you. We wish you good luck and hope to meet you again soon. So
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much and all the best.
Thank you. Bye-bye.